jasmine, oolong, green, and white. Long ago, these 4 teas were skillfully brewed at the Blissful Brew. Then, everything changed when the shop's popularity threatened its existence. All Mr. Okuran, the shop's owner and tea master, could do was to recruit 4 teenage orphans to learn his trade and staff his shop. A year has passed since the orphans were hired, and although their skills have progressed, they still have a lot to learn before they can brew anything. But I believe that they have the potential to make the Blissful Brew the greatest tea shop in the world. Last time on Benders Brews, an Avatar Legends podcast.
What in the world is going on?
We kicked out a drunken.
This young man. So he steps into the shop. I need to have a word with you outside, old man. The guy says, you've owed us the money for the whole month, and you haven't paid up yet. You have until tomorrow. Please, that's not going to be enough time to get the money together. Okay, fine. I'll give you to this weekend. But if you don't pay me by then, I'm trashing the tea shop and taking whatever I want. Wild Coyote Boars, let's roll out. They're a group that offers protection services. I've always been able to make the payments, but this month a customer called in a fairly large and expensive order. It was going to be a catering job for a very wealthy individual here in town. They bailed on the order and canceled it. And now I'm stuck with all these incredibly expensive ingredients. I don't know what else to do.
I want to talk to the rich people.
Hello everyone, welcome to Benders Brews podcast, a non-canonical Avatar Legends real play podcast. My name is Skylar Gorset, and as always I am the game master creating the story alongside my co-writer Nick Van Persson. Yeah. And then bringing it to you, and of course, these fantastic players around me. And today's question, as the players go around and introduce themselves, is, at a festival, what activity does your character gravitate to? Connor, tell us a little bit about what Brock Lee would gravitate to.
Yeah, Brock Lee, the strapping young earthbender he is, would take his talents over to the dunk tank, where he would be chucking rocks. He really likes chucking rocks.
He loves chucking rocks.
He will be chucking rocks at that dunk tank all day long until the water is absolutely disgusting.
Whether it's seagulls or targets, he's hucking rocks at something.
He is hucking rocks all day.
Does he often accidentally or purposely miss the target to hit the person in the dunk tank?
On occasion, but I think he gets enough satisfaction on dunking them into disgusting water.
Something about that, that definitely seems more satisfying for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Dave, tell us a little bit about Guo-Han.
Guo-Han, he's had a lot of experience with festivals and carnivals. So he would probably go to the kissing booth.
You know, that makes a lot of sense because as someone that grew up in the carnival, he, like you mentioned before, he knows that, games...
A lot of them are just scams.
They're just scams. So it's like, you know what? At least at the kissing booth, I'm getting something for my money.
Exactly.
That makes so much sense. That's so great. Freaking love Guo-Han. I feel like he's the chubby kid, but he also has a lot of built-up confidence, and I love that. I love that about him. Cameron with Bill Dorr.
Yeah.
What does he do at festivals?
Bill Dorr goes to the ring toss.
Oh, okay.
And spends many hours tossing rings.
Is there a prize that he's really trying to get?
Success.
Just wants to prove himself.
He just wants to make one.
That's fair. They're pretty much impossible.
They're so
slippery, and he gets sweatier the more he throws them.
Right.
He gets more into it and only gets more
his
off.
brow arches.
And
it's like that meme of that kid where his veins are popping.
Yeah, it's basically that, but with the ring tossing, and he loses a lot of money on it.
That's understandable. Ring toss and the one where you try to get the ping pong ball in the bottles or whatever. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but he usually uses up all his money, and then they feel bad for him. Because he's out of money, but he really wants to get it, so they just let him keep going. But
because it's not about the prize, they're like, I don't care if this kid keeps playing.
This guy is very angry.
Yes.
He's got something about it, and he wants to get that ring on that bottle.
Awesome.
Eventually.
Yes.
So 5 hours later.
Awesome.
Meeka, what do you do at festivals? Has Meeka ever gone to a festival? Sorry, Michaela playing Meeka.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, she's gone to more festivals, just kind of like, the ones where you have to wear, like, masks or whatever.
Sure.
Or, I don't know. I guess I suppose if they were in the Earth Kingdom, then she probably would visit one without a mask, but...
Right.
I'm going to say that they have, like, rides.
Sure.
Yeah, she does that. She
Okay.
likes the thrill.
Sure. That would be interesting to come up
Play
with, like, how do people in this, like, era kind of, like, create rides? How would they run them, But I'm sure there's a way. There's got to be a way. Like, Earthbenders are actively bending as, like, the little roller coaster goes down the tracks. Or, because, like, the delivery system.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it'd be kind of sort of like that.
That were like, carnival games because, she has a couple tricks up her sleeve.
Oh, so she likes to scam back.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Very cool. That makes sense given that she's a rogue.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Cool. All right, let's jump into things. And Meeka, like I said, the as you pass through kind of like this marketplace district and things like that, pretty much almost immediately afterwards, the houses that start popping up are pretty nice houses. You've kind of entered, like, if not upper middle class, like the upper class section. So you're looking around, and eventually, sure enough, you do find a very large, nice house. Not a mansion necessarily, but it's a big, nice house. And on the decorative mailbox that looks exactly like the house itself, just like a mini version of it with a little door in the front that a mailman could put the mail into, it says, Shifu Family.
I'm gonna roll my eyes at that, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna, there's a gate or something.
Yes.
I'm gonna knock on it.
It's a small gate.
I'm gonna open it.
Okay, you do that, and you step inside, and you make your way up the path to the door of this fine house. They're fairly large, ornate doors.
Then I knock on a door.
All right, you knock on the door, and the door opens, and a man dressed in a long robe, holding his hands in kind of almost like a prayer-like position as he steps up to the door, and he says,
Yes, welcome to the Shifu residence. How can I help you?
It's rude.
Don't just stare at them.
Just start laughing.
he just starts laughing at this butthole looking.
Sorry.
What, is the robe pink or something?
Do I have something in my tea?
He starts, like, picking into his teeth with his tongue.
Did I get it?
Yep, you got it, sir.
Oh, good.
I was just, wondering if I could speak to the head of the household, and I kind of give him like a curtsy, but it's kind of wobbly because, I don't do it very often.
Oh, well, firstly, they're not taking any visitors at this time because the master of the house is actually not here at the moment.
What about the madam of the house?
She's with him. They are both attending a party today. They're out shopping, I believe. Getting their attire ready.
Do you know how long they're going to be out?
I would say until roughly... Well, I believe the master typically likes to eat out at a very particular restaurant in town, so I assume he will do that with the mistress for lunch, take her out to a nice little sit-down, and then post that, they will probably maybe do a couple more little bits of shopping.
Okay, I get it. Do they have like a little master or madam of the house? Trial per se?
Well, no. The master and mistress are... how do you say this? Baron.
You're getting a lot of information about this family.
This guy doesn't talk to many people.
He does not.
Well, you see, I was just hoping to talk to somebody. I work at a tea shop in town, and
Yes.
I just wanted, to talk to somebody who would, maybe give me some information about it.
He puts his hand on your shoulder and he says,
I know what it feels like to not have many friends to talk to.
I wanted to talk to him about a tea deal. No. And I kind of pat his hand.
He removes it,
Awkwardly.
kind of embarrassed.
Well, I don't... They did discuss something about a tea deal, something for tonight's party, I believe. I don't quite remember the details. Are you catering tonight? Is this a situation in which there's an error with the catering deal?
Yes, yeah.
What seems to be the problem? I can send a messenger.
Well, do you mind if I just, come in and rest my feet on the sofa? I'm feeling a little parched. Just a long walk.
Well...
We can sit and have a chat.
Normally I don't...
Roll a plead.
He wants a friend.
Yeah, and you're pleading to have him let you into the house and be his friend.
I'm going to use my roguish charm.
Okay.
Why I'm worldly.
That fits really well. What was the beginning of that? The roguish charm?
So if I can plead with an NPC or guide and comfort someone by flattering them and empathizing with them, mark 1 fatigue to roll with creativity instead of harmony.
You are definitely empathizing with his desire for a friend.
Exactly.
You rolled 2 dice.
Oh, I rolled 2. Okay.
What'd you roll with the first one?
A 2.
Oh.
And a high roll at this one.
A 6. So I got an 8.
And then you rolled
And
with
then-
creativity.
Yeah, so that's
it'd be a
plus
9.
1. Yeah.
All right. On a 7 to 9, they need assurance or something extra before helping.
Normally the family doesn't allow guests when they're not at home. But...
Well, I'm a guest for you right now. I was just hoping we could just, sit and chat. Because like you said, I don't have a lot of friends, and you probably have lots of friends. But, I just thought maybe we could just, have a little bit of conversation. Maybe you can cheer me up some.
A tear drips down his eye, and he says,
It may come as a surprise, but I, in fact, do not have a lot of friends. And I would be absolutely honored to have you come in and chat with me.
And he sort of, does a very butler, steps to the side of the door with it open and kind of bows with his hand outstretched into the building to allow you entrance.
I slide my arm into his folded arm and I walk him into the house.
Look back out the door.
I'll look back at the door and I'll wink at them.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill's flashing 2 thumbs up.
Okay, so he closes the door as you two step inside. He leads you into sort of, there's like the big foyer, main area, very decorative, set up in such a way to, really accentuate the decorative and fineness of their house, I suppose. And then he leads you to the left where there's sort of like a sitting room, kind of a, not a dining area, but sort of just like a congregating room. Man, I've been in enough like old house museums. I feel like I should know these terms, but it's not really my thing. But anyway, so it's got, there's a fireplace and it's not lit at the moment.
Gathering room?
Yeah, a gathering room, yeah. Yeah, that might be it, yeah. And then there's some fine chairs and some couches, maybe like 1 or 2 bookshelves, but nothing like, substantial. It's mostly just decorative to make it look nice and things like that. Obviously, there's a large ornate crystal chandelier hanging above you, things like that. So he offers you a seat, and there is a nice little teapot and tea set sitting there. He immediately pours some tea and he hands you one of the cups, and then he sits across you and crosses over his legs. He says,
This is almost feel naughty having guests in the house without the master here. So tell me, what's your name, first of all?
My name's Nika.
Nika, that's with an N.
Yes, yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Nika, very nice to meet you. My name is Sebastian.
It's the worst alias.
That's the worst alias I've ever heard.
You're supposed to pick something that's close to your name.
Yeah,
so
but
that
not
you-
like if someone mispronounces your name normally as.
So, Nika, please tell me, what is it you do? You said you work for a tea shop. Please tell me about that. I hope that the tea that I prepared is up to standard.
It's delicious.
Oh, thank you. That means so much coming from you, Nika.
Yeah, I do work at a tea shop. You know, sometimes I'm making the tea. Sometimes I do the dishes. You know, sometimes I serve the customers. You know, a little bit of everything.
He leans forward. He puts his hand on your knee, not in a weird way, and he just looks you in the eye and he says,
I do all of those things here, too. We have so much in common.
We're
he,
gonna be the
leans
best
back.
of friends.
I would like to think so. Oh, pardon me. I'm so emotional. I don't get to show all this, normally in front of the master and the mistress. I have to keep a straight face, and I have to, always come across as professional at all times.
I kind of pat his hand and I say, there, let it all out.
Thank you.
He takes out a hanky, he's kind of dabs away at just below his eyes, at the tears that are starting to form and things like that. And he says,
So, you mentioned something about some sort of tea deal that the master and the mistress have ordered for the party tonight.
Yeah, well, we had some really, the finest of tea set up for them, and it's just really great tea, but there was a miscommunication and, when we're supposed to deliver it and, payment and stuff, and I was just, kind of wondering, like, if I could talk to him about that,
Oh, well, as I mentioned before, I could, maybe I could retrieve the order form, and if you want to write notes on it, and I could have it sent off to the master wherever he's at. Like I said, I can send a footman, a messenger who can rush it over to him. That way he has all the information that he needs.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. So he rushes off, and he quickly brings back a sheet of paper.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Why he's out of the room? I'm
Yes.
pickpocketing their couch cushion.
Okay. You find a handful of copper pieces between the cushions.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 5.
Okay.
And you find 1 silver piece hidden amongst them.
What? Are these guys counting money on their couch?
That is equivalent.
It
That's 1% of what we need.
Yes.
Oh wow.
It would. I guess it would probably be from the. They have guests over. They bring them into the guest room for everybody to talk and chat, and then every once in a while, the money slips out of your pocket, as it does in our day, in our time, into the cushion seat. And
They never have to look for spare change because they always got it.
maybe they had a party recently, and Sebastian just hasn't had a chance to really dig under the seats, or maybe that's the one flaw in this butler's routine, is he just neglects to do that.
He sounds like he does a lot,
He does.
Like cry.
He doesn't get to do that very often.
Is there anything else that you do before he returns?
No, because I don't feel like I have enough time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was going to say you might be pushing your luck at that point. So, okay, cool. So you manage to scrounge that up, and then you quickly sit back down as you can hear his feet squeaking, the floorboards under his feet squeaking as he makes his way back. He's got squeaky
He's
feet.
got clown shoes on.
And he comes in and he hands you a sheet of paper, and you open it, and it is not an tea order catering form from the Blissful Brew. It is a tea ordering form from some company called Hot Leaf Juice.
Leaf juice? Betrayal.
and it talks about the catering for a party tonight with tea and ingredients that seem similar to what Mr. Okuran had been describing previously. But obviously, again, this is not the Blissful Brew that is providing it.
Okay, so this is like an order form. So does it have like the hot leaf juice like address and information for payment, or like it's just the name and what they ordered?
Yeah, it has their information on it too.
Can I write down the Blissful Brews information instead?
Yes.
Like, is it erasable or in ink? Probably.
It's in ink, yeah. So you'd have to, yeah.
I can't forge a document that. What is the address?
So it is from out of town. It is actually from the capital, but it looks like that they are traveling. They're sending kind of a mobile unit to this town for this special order.
Does it say anything about payment, how that's going to be made or processed or anything?
It says that it's already been paid in half, and then the other half will be after the party tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to...
As you look it over, he kind of says,
Well, what is it that you will need to edit on this, or any notes, like I said, that you needed to... I can write it, or you can write it. And then, like I said, I can have it sent off to the master and the mistress and let them know that there was a change in it, and they can probably stop by your establishment or whatever the case to handle that during their day, like I said, probably after brunch or lunch or whatever meals come after that. Meanwhile, outside of the house, 3 men stand awkwardly at the front gate.
Oh, I'm in a bush.
2 men stand awkwardly at the gate, while 1 man stands awkwardly in a bush. I like to think that you're literally just like your feet up to your waist are just in a bush, but you're just standing there with your arms like just slightly out at an angle.
I'm invisible.
They can't see me, guys, but I can see them.
Are we able to see Meeka or Nika in the house from where we're at?
You might just be able to catch like a glimpse, at least at some point, of them walk past one of the windows to show which room that she's in.
Is he crying?
He's been crying a lot, if that's what that is.
Yeah, that he's really happy. I don't...
Well, she's not dead yet, so...
I can't believe she made it into the parlor.
Honestly, same.
Parlor.
Wow, just held that one to yourself, didn't you?
The whole time.
So, like, we don't need to go in to help her, do we? She seemed to have it on her own.
Probably not. I mean, what else could happen, She goes in. She steals money.
Now, obviously, you can't hear anything that's being said inside of there, but at one point you do see him lean forward, and what looks like he puts his hand on her. And then,
we got a great view, apparently.
She seems to lean forward as well. Whatever that means to you guys.
That dude's like 3 times her age. What's she doing? Is she She's 14?
I'm
Yes.
17.
What?
That's still not legal. You can catch a case with that guy, get him in court, and that's how we get our money.
Bro.
I don't think he's got the money, though. I don't know. Maybe she needs a distraction.
Thank you.
She's the distraction?
No. Maybe she needs a distraction. Remember, she wanted to look through like couch cushions or something. That's what she said. Maybe we need one of us to go to the door and be like, "Delivery." Got
Squid.
The fresh squid you ordered.
Like a door-to-door squid salesman.
Hey, these rich people, they order a lot of
This
weird
plan
things.
just keeps getting better and better.
Honestly,
I knew this would come in handy.
I always take a squid with me wherever I go.
But what other situations do we find ourselves in where we might need a squid?
It's like the Bob
I
Burgers
don't-
episode where he gets a banjo and he's like, I'm just waiting for my banjo moment, Linda. This is the squid moment.
If it's the squid moment, I'm with you. I'll go up with you to deliver a squid. She needs a distraction.
Seem like a group of door-to-door missionaries with your squid.
Oh, I didn't think all three of us were gonna. You already went. Okay, well.
Meeka, as you're sitting there looking over the order form,
Bildor is
there's
not there
suddenly
with
a
him.
knock on the door, and
He's still in the bush.
and Sebastian says,
Oh, you must excuse me. It seems that we have other guests at the house.
and he rushes off over to the door. Guo-Han, are you the only one that went and knocked on the door? Broccoli,
I didn't
not
go with them.
You didn't go
I'm
with
still
them?
in the bush.
So you two are still kind of
In the bush.
sorry. Yeah, and then just go. Okay, so
I need to be clear. I'm in the bush.
he's in the bush. Got it. In case
So
it
when
comes
they
up
were
again.
having a conversation earlier about plans,
right,
it was a bush talking to them.
okay, good, got it. Just like Moses in the desert.
Except I'm a man inside of a bush.
And not
I'm
a
not an
burning
actual bush.
It
It may look like that. It may look like a talking bush at first glance, but it's actually just Bildor in a bush
Got it. Okay.
talking.
Okay, so Guo-Han, the door opens and there's a man, a fairly older man, like I said, in the long robes with the sort of prayer hand symbol going on, and he says,
Yes, how can I help you?
Oh, hey there, mister. We got a squid delivery for a seafood family.
Oh, I believe you mean to say Shifu. Yes? May I?
Did you order squid?
I did not personally, but I'm not 100% knowledgeable about the affairs of my master and mistress. I am simply the butler here. But I suppose if they ordered a squid, I can take the squid.
Well, you don't want to take a look at it first?
Oh, yes, of course. May I see the squid and make sure that it is alive and in order?
Yeah. I pull out the box, I do some earthbending, open it up.
there it is, sloshing around. Its little tentacles kind of plopping out and back into the water here and there.
Yes, this looks like a very fine squid specimen. Did they specify what this specimen was for? By chance?
I mean, I don't know what you rich people do. I just deliver the squid.
Yes, of course. Is there anything I need to do in order to keep the squid alive, or what are these squids typically used for?
Well, I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I usually just eat squid, but they ask for it alive.
Right, yes.
I don't know what weirdo would ask for a live squid.
Maybe this is for the party tonight. It's not hosted here, but it would be something maybe they're taking with them. They were in charge of the tea order.
Well, all right. So what we're gonna want to do, keep this squid alive until then. We gotta find a nice, a cool area
Yes.
to keep this in. So if you allow me in, I'll come and find such an area here.
Yeah, I'll have you roll a plead as well.
It's harmony.
I got an 8.
Okay.
Cool place. I just, we normally, I probably could take it myself and figure it out.
Well, I don't know. You didn't seem to know anything about this squid here.
Well, I suppose. And you hail from the actual establishment, right? You're not like just a footman delivering squids everywhere. Or other things, right?
No, this is my full-time.
You work for the squid
Yep, the
distributor.
Semplipod service.
Simple. Yes, I've heard of them. Yes, okay. Yes, of course. Follow me. I'll take you.
Yeah, it'd be a real shame if it would something happen to it.
Yes, of course. I'll take you to the basement. That seems like a cool. Did you say dark or not dark?
Well, it's got to have a decent amount of airflow, you know.
Of course. Well,
For
the
squid,
basement.
so it doesn't suffocate.
Well, yes. There's plenty of space in the basement. Yes. Yes. Come with me.
And he starts to lead you inside the house towards a stairwell, kind of off into the back. Like you have to go through the kitchen, and then there's a stairwell past the kitchen.
And as you're going, he's asking you questions. So, is this a particularly rare squid by chance?
Oh, yes. Very.
Well, maybe that would explain why they wanted to keep it alive for, like I said, maybe it's the party tonight that they're planning on having. That would make a lot of sense, I think.
Yeah, I've heard the ink from the squid is what sets it apart.
Oh, interesting. Well, man, I just... Look at me, I'm making friends, I'm learning about squids today. What a day. I tell you what, I wasn't expecting to wake up on a Saturday morning and have just so much of my life changed.
Oh, making friends. Was I interrupting something?
Oh, no. Just a wonderful new acquaintance stopped by, and we were getting to know each other, and it's not a problem at all. I mean, if this is my job, after all, to make sure that the master and mistress's business is in order, so as long as I'm getting that done, and I personally don't see a problem with a new friend stopping by, and yes, no problem at all. Anyways, here's the basement. Yes, is there a space in here that seems adequate? And he shows you around. It's not like dark, it's just dimmer because it's, underground, but there are obviously some like sconces along the walls that are lit and running. He goes and lights up a couple more, not with firebending, just, he's not a firebender. He's just lighting them with like matches or something like that. And it's a pretty open space. There's a couple of small rooms here and there, which he says you're welcome to use. All of them, there's one that's like a bathroom-esque room, it's got some facilities in there. Just kind of like some general spaces for the most part. It doesn't look like they use it too much down here. It's usually not like just open to anybody if they were to have guests over.
Okay. Do I see any like doors or like stairs leading like out of the basement to like a sub-basement or...
There's some, like I said, there's some doors to some smaller rooms, but I don't think there's anything that leads to a second basement or anything like that. He says, I suppose, they probably, for something like this, if we needed to, we could, create a stone tub of sorts if we wanted to, and I could go fetch some water and we could fill it, and maybe the squid would be alright in there.
Yeah, that would be perfect, actually.
Oh, alright.
You're on top of it. Maybe you do know a few things about squid.
Oh, well, if you wouldn't mind, I myself am not a earthbender, but feel free to, perhaps this corner right here.
And he points at one corner, and he kind of like holds his hands out in such a way to kind of suggest a sort of containment space that you could... He's like,
if you wouldn't mind, if you could...
Just gotta check a few things here.
Yes, of course.
Guo-Han like licks his finger and sticks it up into the air. Yeah, we got some decent airflow here.
Good.
Lighting, good. All right. Yeah, this should work here. And then he'll do some fancy footwork and lift up with his palms, create a little basin for the water.
Basin, yeah, that's another good word. All right. Yeah, perfect. All right. And then he says, oh, wonderful. If you don't mind, I'll run upstairs if you don't mind waiting here, and I can grab some water. Or I suppose if you wanted to come with me, I know you'll have your hands a little bit taken by this container, or if you want to put the container into the larger basin. Or...
I'll come help you. Yeah.
Okay.
Faster we get this done, I can be on my way to my other deliveries.
Oh, yes, of course.
And so both of you rush upstairs, and do you set the squid down in the basement, or in the basin downstairs? Okay, so you set it in there, and then, like I said, you both run upstairs, and you start fetching water in some, like, kind of large pools or buckets, even. Mm-hmm. Take down and fill the basin up.
So I'm looking around for any signs of Meeka, like, looking in the parlor as we go past.
Sure. You would definitely see her, especially if you had a chance to glimpse into the parlor. Meeka, what are you doing while this is all going down?
Drinking my tea.
Oh, okay. So at one point you see Guo-Han actually peek around the corner into the parlor where you're at.
I wink at him.
Okay, you give him a wink. How does Guo-Han handle that?
He just winks back.
Okay.
It's like, I guess that means it's going good. Actually, Guo-Han would probably be like, try to secretly sign, like point at her and be like, you, and then like make the okay symbol.
Meeka, he's signaling the old, are you okay? She nods.
Yeah.
Okay. She nods. What are the two outside in the bush? What are you two doing?
Sure. I hope Guo's plan works because we're out of squid.
Yeah, we don't really have any reason to go up there.
We have no backup squid.
No, we should have bought two.
The second squid has arrived.
In case if the first squid didn't go well.
Yeah. Can I walk around the house
Sure.
to try and find any sort of, you know, how like houses have like storm doors that lead down to a basement type area?
Yeah. You take a look around, and sure enough, you do find a kind of a storm cellar that leads, doorway to a cellar or something that probably leads to the basement. Yeah.
I want to go in there.
Okay. It is locked.
Okay.
It just has a basic bolt lock on it.
Basic bolt lock, you
Basic
say?
bolt lock.
Are there any windows around where I would be able to see Guo-Han or Meeka from here?
From this side, I don't think you'd be able to see anybody. The basement, obviously being underground, isn't going to be visible. And then you know where Meeka is, so that's kind of around to the side of the house. But there were windows there because you were watching some interaction between her and Sebastian.
Meeka, are you keen on sign language at all?
I wish.
Okay. So, could I try to frantically, since I know she can't sign, make the key turning hand gesture and say, just, I need a key or something, and maybe point to the butler?
Okay, so you run around to the side of the house where you can see her. She can see you through you get her attention through the window, and then you just start doing this, and then, I don't know, however Meeka would interpret that.
I'm interpreting that he wants me to stab somebody. Remember, I was a survivalist.
He starts pointing to the butler. Key, butler, stab, butler.
So, interpret
I
that however you
frantically
want.
shake my head no.
Okay, so she's no help.
No, the butler does not have a key.
Okay, butler does not have a key. Or
That's what you interpreted.
or you
I'm just
don't
saying I'm
want
not
to
going to
stab.
kill my new friend.
She just doesn't want to get the key. She's like,
She
no,
don't-
your problem.
You don't want to stab a butler. Okay, fine. Whatever. All right. So I'll go back to the storm cellar area. Is anybody else around within earshot?
Not that you can see, yeah.
Just this bush.
Just a bush. So I
Don't mind me. Just the bush.
I conjure up a softball-sized rock and I try to just smash the lock.
Okay, all right.
Skills.
Yeah, probably rely on your skills and training.
So I need a 7 to 9. So I roll with focus.
Yep.
That is no additional.
Talking to the ghostwriter.
Approach. Yeah, it says accept those consequences, which is what. Sorry, it says accept those consequences if you were to roll a 7 to 9, and you do it imperfectly, which is going to cause an unexpected consequence. You can either accept those consequences or mark 1 fatigue.
Okay. In 7 to 9, I do it perfectly, but I need I need a 7 to 9 for it to be successful.
Right.
Well, 10 plus is successful.
10 plus is
7
successful.
and 9, you can do it, but you have to have something happen.
So 7 or higher, it's
Yeah.
successful. 7 to 9 is just with consequences.
Yeah.
Right.
9.
Awesome. Okay. So you break the lock, and what do you do immediately after that?
I peek my head in through the door,
Okay.
see that it leads somewhere, and I try to go in through and close the door behind me.
Okay. So as you break the lock and you peek inside,
The bush ears.
Guo-Han from inside, you hear it because you and Sebastian are both downstairs when it snaps. And so both of you kind of freeze, and Sebastian says,
What was that? Oh, I'm going to go check that out. Give me just a moment, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name, by the way.
Steve.
Steve, yes. Yes. Steve, quite a strong, young, earthbending man's name. Yes, very good, very good. All right, Steve, give me just a moment.
and he walks towards the room. So your head is in there as you hear him say,
Give me just a moment.
What are the floors made of? Is it stone, wood, dirt?
At this point, it would probably be stone. I feel like the basement itself would probably be stone.
Okay, so when I hear him, I go back out, close the door, and put my ear up to it until I hear his footsteps on the stone floor walk away.
So you hear his footsteps as they make their way towards it, and then you hear him stop, and you can hear muttering say, like through the door, say,
Well, that's strange. The lock seems to be broken on the door.
and you hear reaching up, and you hear, like, I guess it would be the contact of hands on the handles from the inside of the door, and as the door starts to open.
I'm watching with amazement from the bush
Okay.
as the door begins to open. Oh, can I take this chance to just run for the front door?
Sure.
So,
wait, I want
he's...
to see who comes out of the basement. Because if it's the butler, I'll head for the door.
Okay. And what are you doing?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
So, he's opening the door. I'm pressed up right on it.
Right.
That is our sitch right now.
That's your sitch.
That's the sitch. Okay.
Ba-ba-ba-dum.
I'm glad you got the reference.
Yes.
What type of door? You said he reached up?
Yeah, so he has handles from the inside, because normally that's where it would be. Well, it could be open from either side, I suppose.
Gotcha. Those stone. So the storm doors, they would open towards the outside.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm a pretty beefy boy. I'll just sit on top of the doors so he can't open it and assume that the lock may have just shifted in the wind.
Sure. I'm gonna have you mark one fatigue.
Oh, right.
So this will basically be you not accepting the kind of consequences, because you instead kind of make your own path. So you sit on top of the door and kind of hold yourself down as best as you can. So he starts moving the door, and he goes,
Well, maybe the lock's not broken, or maybe it must be jammed from the outside. Well, I guess it works either way. I'll have a maintenance person come look at this later. My apologies, Steve.
and you hear him scuttle his way back to the Steve.
Back to Steve.
Back to Steve.
So is this my move or...
Well, Steve and Sebastian are just kind of filling up this tub, so it's whatever you want to do at this point.
All right, so I'll go back in all sneaky-like.
Yes.
And I'll follow. Can I hear their voice echo through there? And
Yeah, a little bit.
okay, so I will try to find any sort of passage that leads in a direction away from them. Is there any sort of passage, or is it a one-way?
There's, like I said, there's a number of like rooms, sort of small rooms, but nothing seems to be a passage that leads like out of the basement, except for the one that leads out of the basement to any other room. So the only way you'd get out of the basement to somewhere else would be going up the stairs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll stow away in one of those rooms.
Okay, yeah.
Until I feel that the coast is clear.
Okay, sounds good. And then Bill Dorr, are you doing anything while
He went inside.
Yeah, he went inside the doors.
You are just a bush.
Can I pick up the bush?
Yeah, you would have to break the stem that holds it into the ground.
That's a very conspicuous.
He's gonna
bush.
leave the bush
Okay.
and then dust off bush.
Dust the bush off of him.
Yeah, and then he's going to head inside.
Through the basement doors? Or he's going to go to the front door?
Front door.
Okay, sounds good. So you rush over to the front door, you open it. Sure enough, it's currently open because the last person to go in was Steve, and Sebastian was a bit distracted to lock the door or anything. So you're able to creak the door open. And as you do this, Meeka, You hear the door being opened since you're in the parlor, which is not too far from the front of the house.
What? I'm sorry.
You-
Your
you-
ghostwriter was distracting me.
No, it's okay. You hear the door being opened at the front of the house from the outside.
I walk to the door.
Okay. And in steps Bill Door.
Oh.
Through a door steps a door.
And he wipes his feet, straightens his vest and his tie, and says, "Oh, hey, Meeka.
Oh, hey, Eldor.
Nice place you got here."
Thanks, I just got it.
So,
I don't know. Guo-Han came in and they're in the basement or
yeah,
something.
no, I figured that out. There's a lot of... He's like... Bill Door, like, motions to the side, says, "Yeah, I saw him just sitting on a basement door, and I saw, like, movement under it. I figured they're in the basement. Maybe trapped him down there. I don't know. I figured there was a little hustle-bustle going on."
Oh, well, I was just
And I
talking to the butler
figured-
about this, and I show him the document tea trade that's going on.
Tea trade, huh?
So you
And for the
obviously
big party tonight.
scan it over and get
Hot-
an overview
hot
of
tea.
this. Hot leaf juice.
Hot leaf juice.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah.
That sounds worse than
I know,
Blissful Brew.
It says here that they paid him half already,
Oh,
but if we could somehow...
I'm sure that half's... The other half's somewhere.
somehow destroy the tea.
Destroy
we
the
could,
tea.
We could just,
Well, if we just, like...
hop in with the Blissful Brew and be like, "Oh, hey, we got your back. No worries,
Do you think
bro."
that when
This has gone so America versus
the
Britain.
tea...
Dump it in the
Where would
harbor.
this tea be stored?
Well,
It wouldn't be stored
I
here.
didn't know if they were already in town. We could just, break their car.
Okay.
Or-
Let me hear this correctly. You weren't fine with us going to go and beat people up, but you're totally fine with us going and just breaking a bunch of tea.
Yeah, so Mr. Okra can get money for our tea. We're trying to save the tea shop here.
Why don't
Bro.
you just change the order?
It's in ink. Or
in
you just
ink?
want me to cross it off?
Why don't you just write a new one?
Because they've already seen it. They'll know that I replaced it.
Would they?
Well, I mean, the butler
Is there
is
official
pretty...
stamp on it?
The butler is pretty sad,
Is there a
that he
stamp on
doesn't
it?
have a friend. He's emotional, so probably
Is the
could get
stamp
away
on
with
it? Okay.
Their family stamp is on it, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's very official now, so if you touch that, it would be illegal. So
Who follows the rules?
I don't even know how you got this. How dumb is this butler?
Well, he gave it to me because I said that I needed to get an important message, and he said I could write a note on it.
Oh, okay. You got the. Oh,
get
wait,
to the
hold
family.
up. So you're gonna write a note, and it's gonna go to the family. How's he gonna get to the family?
He's gonna send a messenger.
What if I'm the messenger? And what if this letter just never shows up?
How will that be beneficial?
Well, you see, if there's no official documentation, well then it'll be hearsay. So
We
Mr.
show
Okra,
up with our tea.
Exactly. Mr. Okuran has an argument.
There's probably some other kind of official document.
Is it
We're
got a
both gonna
seal
show
on
up
it?
with all of our tea. We don't
Does
even
it
know
have
where
a
to
seal
show up
on
with our
it?
tea.
Well, it doesn't have a seal. It just has like the family. I mean, it would kind of be basically the same thing, but it's not
stamped.
sealing the letter.
Okay,
Letter,
okay.
obviously, because the letter's open. It would just be stamped. Yeah.
Well, the outside of the letter would have the seal on it. Unless if he just brought paper.
You wonder if maybe it was a situation where they sat down,
Oh, okay.
they made the order, and then he signed it with his.
Well, that's what he would
seal.
assume if he didn't see a seal.
Yeah, it didn't get mailed to anybody, so it didn't have to be sealed closed or
Got
anything like that. Yeah.
Okay, well, that was one idea. I mean, we need other ideas,
I'm just
workshop.
saying we ruin their tea and they have to go to the Blissful Brew.
But this is all tonight, right?
Yeah.
So-
We just forged the well, we don't have to forge the document because he said he'll either write on it or I could write on it. And we can just say, hey, the capital shipment tea, there was miscommunication. They don't have it all, so the Blissful Brew has to bring what they have, since we're a pretty popular tea shop in
Yeah,
town.
like a tea job.
Yeah, except we get all the money and they
And
don't.
that the second half of the payment goes
Yeah.
to Blissful Brew.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. So you need me to deliver that message?
No, I just need the butler to come back so we can write the note.
Oh, so is there anything I can do? Or should I just go back and...
The butler needs a friend.
There's a nice bush outside.
Why can't you
talk
be
to.
friends?
I don't want to be friends with him.
Why can't you?
I don't even like
be
friends to begin with. So, yeah. I guess I have nothing to do here. Do you have any food in the kitchen?
I've not been in the kitchen.
I'm going to go check out the kitchen.
Okay.
All right, as you make your way towards the kitchen, you can hear 2 sets of footsteps making their way up from the basement to the kitchen. And you hear an older voice that I guess technically you haven't been introduced to yet, says,
Well, I have to say, Stephen, we did quite a good job there, setting up an entire, aquarium setup for this fine specimen of squid that you brought us in only probably about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, we did a pretty good job. Now, the only thing left is the matter of payment.
Oh, the master didn't set anything aside. I assumed that they had already paid for the squid. I have a number of coins set aside for tipping any delivery services or anything like that by the master and mistress's orders, but I didn't know.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, well, of course, my boy.
I didn't mean to be too forward.
Yes, no, it's, sometimes it's good to be forward because some people just, they don't get it, So, yes, of course. Here you go. And he hands you 5 copper pieces.
Okay.
You made it 3 copper.
as he leads you to the door.
All right, yeah, I just go with him.
All right, sounds good.
And says, well, I truly appreciate your assistance, and you have done a fantastic job, and I will be sure to let the master of the house know that, what was it again that you said you were from?
Cephalopod service.
Cephalopod service, yes, I will be sure to let him know that you are an absolute asset to their company, and I'm sure he and his name will carry quite an impressive review for you. So.
And you'll notice... So the ink from this squid.
Oh, yes.
If you collect it, it's darker than usual ink.
Really?
Yeah.
I always assumed that, black was black. I didn't know there was a darker black color for ink.
Oh, there are shades upon shades.
Shades of black. Well, I did not
There's
realize.
levels.
Well, that is fine information. As I said before, I have learned so much today, made new friend. I will have to share this information with her. I'm sure she would be intrigued at this incredible, vast knowledge of squids that I've learned today.
All right, well, you take care of what? Sebastian, was it?
Yes, Sebastian, yes. Okay.
It happened off screen.
Yes, of course, yes. Thank you. And you have a wonderful day, Stephen.
Will do.
And he gives you one last wave as he closes the door, and then he turns back and heads back into the parlor and walks into where Meeka is sitting.
Oh, yeah.
And he says,
Well, Meeka,
No,
you would not
Meeka.
believe how just absolutely intriguing the amount of information I just learned about squids. Squids of all things. I was not expecting such a delivery to come to the house. I sincerely apologize for making you sit here all by yourself.
No worries. I was really enjoying this tea you provided for me.
Oh, well, I'm so glad you did. So, where were we?
Oh, yeah. So I was just going to have you write on this note here that, there was a problem with, the hot leaf juice, not having all the proper teas that they needed, so that, they needed, our help, the Blissful Brew, to, kind of restock what they have, and, you guys give us the rest of the payment.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're not with hot leaf juice?
We're like partners. You know what I'm saying?
Like sister companies?
Yeah. in a sense.
Okay, interesting.
You know, they can't go back to the capital and get the rest of the teas that they need, so, since we're a pretty popular tea company in town, they asked for our help.
I'm going to have you roll a push your luck on this one, because it seems like you're kind of throwing some information that he definitely wasn't expecting. And it's with passion? Yeah, passion.
10.
10. Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, of course. Sister companies, yep, that makes sense. And based on the address, they're from the capital and you're from here locally, so it makes sense that you would collaborate on especially an order such as big as this. Absolutely, that makes sense. Okay, so what did you want me to write on there?
And he takes a note and he pulls out a quill pen and he gets ready to write.
I repeat what I just said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just that there is some missing teas from the hot leaf juice.
Yeah.
And the Blissful Brew would be attending to accept the payment and to provide the teas that were unavailable.
Yes.
Okay. So he writes that down and he says, I will have this mailed off right away. What do you plan for the rest of your day then?
Well, I suppose I gotta get ready for this party coming up.
Oh, of course, because you'll be there.
Will I see you there?
I will not. No, I will probably be here taking care of the house.
I'll bring you by some of this fancy tea.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much,
You're
Meeka.
welcome.
I really appreciate that. Well, I'll lead you to the door if you. I don't want to have to keep you here for any longer. I'm sure you are busy.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time and so much for the tea. I really enjoyed it.
Much. Yes, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anytime.
All right. And he opens up the door for you and he gives you a bow and he says,
It's always good to have more friends. I truly appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
and he waves and he's got the note, but he's gonna call for like somebody to have it delivered ASAP. So
am I just stuck in the basement?
Who is Hot Leaf Juice? How will the master and mistress use this squid? And then the real question:
will Brock Lee ever get out of the base, or is he stuck there to enjoy his time with his new friend, the squid?
Find out next time on
Benders and Brews, an Avatar Legends podcast. Thank you so much for listening to our show. Of course, don't forget to follow or subscribe to our podcast through whatever podcast site that you're using, such as iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and others. Additionally, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just look for the social media icons. Following us on social media gives you access to all news, announcements, and of course, new episodes as they are released. You can check out our website, bendersandbrews.com, which will feature all of our episodes as well as news, announcements, and even cool character and player profiles. It's a great hub of information for the Benders and Brews podcast. And finally, we would be truly humbled if you would be willing to take the time to leave us a review if your podcast site allows you to do so, such as on iTunes. Or in the case of YouTube, you can hit the like and subscribe button and drop us a comment. Tell us about what you thought about our podcast episodes. It sure would mean a lot to us. Avatar Legends is a tabletop role-playing game created by Magpie Games. Nickelodeon, Avatar, and all related titles, logos, and characters are trademarks of Viacom International Inc., all rights reserved. I also want to thank the following artists who you can find on Fiverr for their amazing creative work on this podcast. Character art was done by alessiopapadraw. Background art by Kennicchi. Music by Joe Timms 215. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.